Let's read the story. GME and AMC aren't done. We're going to the moon. Disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I'm a crayon sandwich eating smooth-brained ape, and if you don't do your own DD, then you put yourself at risk of serious medical condition, paperitis, handitis. In this DD, I will attempt to convince even the smoothest brained apes out there that GME and AMC, in my opinion, are nothing short of certain to continue to rise. You know, as they say, stocks only go up. I've incorporated as much data as I can, yet people seem to think that this data is then ingrained in stone, as opposed to believe continuous ebbs and flow of the market that presents us with new data every single minute that the market is open. Some might say that we have a war in on our hands. Some might even say that we are winning. Well, I say it's only just begun. I've furthered the cause by reinvesting my $1.2 million in profits back into 1,000 GME stocks and 10,000 AMC. That's a little bit off, but that's fine. Everyone here knows my story. I've thrown a lot of money in options, and I'm still in it to win it. So I'm gonna edit that a little bit. I feel the pain that you've felt down on your luck, wanting, waiting, wishing that the squeeze will come. And Ape Brother, I'm here to tell you we are going to win this. There are literally millions of diamond handlers out there. It doesn't take a genius to be able to note public sentiment. Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, retail investors just can't get enough of this stonk. GME and AMC chart duplication. If you don't want to, like me, believe in the conspiracy surrounding this, then the best thing to do is look into the facts and do your own DD. One of the biggest sources of data we have of price action is the chart itself. And just look at it. They're identical. These are indeed two completely different stocks in completely different industries with no ties to the other. Except, in fact, that they've been classified as a meme stock. And why do I put that into quotation marks? Because meme stock implies that these stocks aren't to be taken seriously, that they aren't real investments, or that they are not going to make you money. To that, you only need to take a look at the literal millions of people that have profited off of buying the dip. Millions of people, this to know that these are genuine investable opportunities that people, including myself, had made millions from. You could, of course, stick to your 7% rise year over year in the S&P 500 if you prefer. My viewpoint on Bitcoin has changed. I believe that the opportunity right now is GME and AMC. Bitcoin had its attractiveness being decentralized. But why would I want to invest in Bitcoin for 5 to 10% gain when there are much more lucrative opportunities in the market right now and it's being driven by public sentiment? Once you've spent enough time in the market, you'll start to see when charts become linked, leading to two stocks dipping almost at the same time. If you're still here, congratulations. You're clearly interested in what I have to say, so let me continue. I want to read this with a very logical filter. Try to ignore the politics and emotions and focus on the economics of the market. It won't lead you astray. People fear the unknown, and so if something sounds too good to be true, even if it is true, people will rather disbelieve in it than do their own DD on the topic. It's human nature. So I'm here to do the DD for you, and I'm just like straight up giving you the answer. I'm the cheat sheet to life. I'll go into the philanthropic goals later because I am here to help people use the market as a form of wealth creation. The hedge funds really have impacted you. They've made your life worse, whether you believe it or not. They profit off our vulnerability, and then as soon as they're caught slipping, they're always getting bailed out. But what about the little guy? What about the parent who is struggling to feed their 3 children and has to choose this week whether to pay rent or to have enough money to pay for electricity this week? This isn't a fair world. It isn't a just world. And so I want to help balance that out, even if it's just a little. I've always strived to do more, be more, but most importantly, give more. I've stayed broke to help others, knowing that the key to wealth is not the ability to have a lot of money. Anyone who gets an inheritance can do that. It's about the ability to create your own wealth, if and when you need it. All right, we got a phone call. Hello, speak your piece.
Hey, man, it's me.
What can I do for you?
It's me, Kevin, Jen, Mike, everybody that knows you, man.
Oh, this is Meet Kevin?
But listen, just listen, okay? I know you're going through a lot, You're conflicted, and you've been reluctant to be who you are and what you are. Are you there?
I'm here. Speak.
It's time to stop living a lie. Listen! We're having a coming out of the closet party in your honor this Friday night. Now, shut your trap for just 2 seconds there, Mary.
Is this a robot right now?
We're only trying to help. Listen, you don't have to enter into the gay world alone. We accept you.
That's funny. Somebody's so funny. How do you guys get so funny all the time? All right, let's keep going. Like, you guys think you can distract me and, like, beat me? I can't be beat. How many times I gotta tell you? All right. People fear the unknown, so if something sounds too good to be true, rather disbelieve it than their own DD. It's human nature. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But what about the little guy? What about the parent who's struggling? This isn't a fair world. Anyone can get an inheritance. It's about being able to grow your own wealth. Whether you want to believe it or not, a lot of the world is run by money, for money, with the intent to, and you guessed it, make more money. Look at me. I'm the rich fuck now. Why should you believe what I have to say? Well, I've compiled a vast amount of information. I feel like this is all the information I could find that, like, it was just enough for me to where I can come on this stream and I can talk about it for days because I've been reading it and studying it and it's all I think about and it's the best. So this data has allowed me to create a trading strategy that will eventually help me to buy the stock needed to trigger the squeeze, because how I have set out my options portfolio and increase leveraging in calls when AMC rises, I'll be making another 8 figures. I mean, it could be 7, 8, 9, 10 figures. Who knows? Nobody knows. I just know I like where I'm at right now. I'm going to make more than everybody else. That's all I really know. I have $10,000 invested in GME calls, which is the profits when it turns into 3,000 into 500,000, February 24th and 25th. We all know that story. Options, $1 million as well as $250,000 worth of stock. Yep. That is all true. And it all happened in one day. So we went from this boom, $73,000, 10 of it in options, the rest in stock, to boom, $1.2 million on the day, February 25th, when GME went up to $162. Ballin'. And here's the same account midday. Okay, how do I play in the options market? I'm going to share with how each option that I bought is a good investment, and then I'll also share my portfolio, my exit strategies so that I can maximize the extrinsic value of a contract, and then I'll be using the profits, the buy GME and AMC en masse, so that I am sure many other apes, if not sharks, will also do. This is the trigger that everyone is waiting for. Again, I'll reiterate that I'm not a financial advisor per se. I'm just sharing how I've already become. I mean, I'm not necessarily a millionaire right now, but I got money. I ain't struggling. I love life. I got 6 figures. Life is great. Like, ain't nothing going to hurt me right now. From this and how I intend to make it even more. He has diamond hands. Like, all the ladies are going to be loving the diamond hands. Diamond hands is guaranteed lady magnet. My DD covers conspiracies, Federal Reserve, quantitative easing, and exit strategies. We'll take a look at the world events and how the rich have managed to stay rich, oppressing and suppressing the lower classes for their own monetary gain. They don't want you to have the American dream because that's what they want for themselves. Anyone who feels this way saw GME and AMC as the opportunity to teach them a lesson. And if you go and you take a look at their current stock prices, I think you'll find that we're currently in the process of teaching said lesson. Nobody who invested into the stock below 200 has lost money, and that is because the stock has value. GME as a company is beginning to transition away from the brick and mortar and into e-commerce. Many Redditors have diamond-handed their way through negative 80% red portfolios, and they're doing so because of somewhat joint belief in the stock's ability to keep going up. It almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Granted, there are some that realize losses by selling, but that loss was never realized until they sold. Even though for many with 2 weeks, even though there are some with 2 weeks, the stock has risen back. Even though for many with 2 weeks, the stock has already risen back. The will tell you mainstream media will tell you one thing, whilst the hedge funds have got them in their pockets, trying to control a narrative that is becoming harder for them to manipulate due to the high number of people who are now following and investing in the GME and AMC. The underlying businesses also don't matter that much, and the Federal Reserve have made these stocks essentially a hedge so that the value of crypto will be eliminated so that we have a reset. A reset where 10% of society becomes rich. GME, AMC will retain their permanent changes in price. A reset where only diamond handlers have the ability to generate enough wealth to have anything that they've ever dreamed of, even with the imminent inflation that unequivocally is certain to arrive. Sell GME, Kramer says. Retards, listen. There's a GME on sale to the normies. Listen to me, I'm retarded. I know, you're just a normie. Trust me. The June, April $40 strike call is the best call in the whole stock market right now, and it's guaranteed to pay out millions of dollars. Jim Cramer's face on Monday is not going to be happy. Like I said, we'll cover retail investors, the facts that options investments before finishing off my personal story, why this became much more than just about money for me. I'd appreciate that there are people who have criticized, and that's okay because it's given me the opportunity to test my DD. It is welcomed. Any challenge is welcomed. You got my number. I ask if you do not agree, then please try to remain respectful. Just remember that literally everyone who has shorted this stock so far has had their asses handed to them on a plate. So if you believe the stock will go down, then go ahead. Short the stock. That's a mean-looking gorilla right there. Don't even mess with us. We've been through battles. As a Christian, I believe that the Bible teaches self-perfection and helping those in need. I fear of backlash from the Christians who may disagree with my views due to lack of professionality, including my distaste towards Democrats. However, the Bible is clear in that those who are not against you are indeed your friend. I understand that the religious notes aren't for everyone, so skip ahead for your latest dose of confirmation bias that you need to send you over the edge of your YOLO journey. I believe in waiting for the big event to rise. I don't watch the stock incessantly, and I know that when it happens, I will know. Don't forget to join me on the YouTube at TheGodPill, where I share live updates of my own personal portfolio and how I made $1 million, as well as my future investments as we endure the journey of permanent transfers of wealth. Yes, you can go ahead and mock my humor. I've included just some of my girlfriend and I's favorite memes from the past month in an attempt to break up the read into more digestible chunks. So when the price drops, you buy and hold, sir. So when the price drops, the human's asking. The ape, obviously diamond-handed, says, of course, you buy and hold, sir. That's all we do. YouTube, The God Pill, I'll be streaming Monday through Friday during the market opening hours so that you can see how I manage my personal 100K YOLO. Hint, it's AMC and GME all day, every day. It's split into... I didn't end up buying any stocks. I actually went all options, and so I'll have to update that, but I don't know if it matters. There's my beautiful little Castiel, Castiel, off the Angel of Supernatural. He's like a Jack Russell Fox Toy Terrier mix. We rescued him when he was like 3 months old 2 years ago. And he's just the most spoiled dog in the world. When I don't finish my $200 Wagyu steak, I bring home a little piece of it for him. And he goes crazy. Like, yeah, it's like he's on coke when he freaking does it. Or when he eats it. You can see her engagement ring on her hand. That is my fiance. We just got engaged in October. That's me. That's me. And that ring on my finger was a promise ring she gave me on her birthday when we went to Hawaii last year for her birthday on December 23rd. And on the outside of it, it's got an inscription on it that says, keep fucking going. Because I've basically been saying I'm going to make $1 billion for a decade. And she's been with me for the last 4 years. And she felt like I felt, where like we're just on the edge of finally getting a break. 480 number. Hello. How can I help you?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. Make sure you got the stuff.
Who are you?
Stop playing. Just make sure it's ready.
All right, I'm going to block you.
Don't.
Clearly, people do not like what I'm saying. That's okay. Let's let the hate keep flowing. All right, where were we? Alrighty, so let's get into it. The clues are all there for anyone who needs to receive some form of confirmation before investing. We'll look at how the Federal Reserve doesn't control inflation, but more so that they try to use quantitative easing. We'll look into Michael Burry, the man who foresaw the housing crisis shorted the mortgage industry in 2007. Then we're going to look at volume in the options market and how that can show the soon or later the squeeze will have to occur when it becomes too much for the Federal Reserve to suppress. I think this will happen before April. We'll look at FUD, how the majority of the GME AMC investors aren't on Reddit, and that more intelligent, more financially wealthy people or institutions are investing. There are many celebrities on board, too many to name, so if you're all in the evidence isn't enough, then I'll send you a digital postcard from the moon and you can sell it as an NFT for $0. Next, we're going to talk facts about the options surrounding these stocks and what the real end game of this is. How we can really transfer wealth from hedge funds. This is why I stocked up now. I looked forward in time and I saw 14,605 futures. And how many of those did we beat the hedge funds if we hold? All of them. Apes are stronger together. We can't lose when we're together. It's impossible. The math just doesn't compute. We are all just space apes betting on a stock not to collude because we're too stupid to know what that is. But for the pure satisfaction that we get from owning the stock, I like the stonk, you like the stonk, we all freaking like the stonk. So, I first invested into GME and AMC after the first restrictions were imposed on buying the stock. Vlad turned off the buy button and manipulated the stock back in January. And for one reason or another, but let's not get into that, I invested $100,000 cash on February 1st and I put into 7 stocks. But then I realized the potential in GME and AMC when they crashed. And I basically averaged down my positions in GME and AMC. And then it popped February 24th and 25th and I made a lot of money. But we have grown. So let's see what this says. I was amazed by the sense of unity, community, brother, sisterhood that WSB had. The intent on sending these stocks to the moon. We had such a loud support and the other stock promotions became shill advertising. 1 week later, we had grown to 8 million degenerates and every single post was FUD, anti-GME, anti-AMC, all with the intent of getting you to sell your valuable stocks for a fraction of the cost. I believe that the FUD was even transferred across the stocks like Rocket, getting them into the mindset that we all need to rush and sell at 1,000, 10,000, or even measly 100,000. These stocks have genuine growth potential. The math shows it. We don't have figures of how many total shares exist, but it's guaranteed that it's more than 70 million float. These 2 weeks we've just experienced gaining and gaining led to all the haters disappearing and even some form of becoming investors. I'm here to say that I already know what will happen, and I think you do too. Is one of my favorite memes. GME is overvalued. We know short interest better than you. Google dead cat bounce retard. LOL at GME bag holders. Bag holders. So many of the retards fought over who is right rather than the smart apes who actually bought the dip and helped spread the word, helping those who genuinely have their lives changed what is about to happen. There's a little meme where the guy's eating his dinner and just on his phone as people are literally fist fighting right next to him in a restaurant, and he just acts like they don't even exist, and he just keeps eating his food and on his phone, and it's pretty funny. It's like us when they're crashing the market, global pandemic, and all the crazy things, and we're just buying AMC, buying GME. I'll be first to admit that you can't get more retarded than myself. I went from 110K to 60K, managed to get that back to 75K, and then between the end of February 24th and 25th, I was up $1.2 million by the end of the stocks got halted. I only cashed out half of the $600,000 and then lost the other $600,000 playing $200,000 options 3 weeks for every week. The options expire, but that's why it's called YOLO, right? Good thing I still had cash left, so me and my brother decided to throw another $100,000 into options on this Monday, on March 15th is when we did that. Check my YouTube live stream for proof. These options were invested into both GME and AMC because there are some believe it's too late to invest, and to that I say watch me. Don't believe me, just watch. It's never too late to invest, and right now it's the perfect moment when things are on a discount. Imagine you'd invest $175 or $40 freaking dollars. You'd be loving the prices right now, hovering around 200, and that's before the squeeze has even begun. Inflation is coming, unfortunately, and when it does, who's going to look out after us? And be damn sure it isn't the rich. He who hath an ear, let him hear. Follow me. The Federal Reserve, S&P 500, Michael Burry are all connected. You may think otherwise, but just hear me out. There are millions of dollars that are being spent on $800 strike calls. Yes, millions. If there are no belief that GME will move, then why would there be literally millions of dollars invested? The open interest in the volume options data is available to all. If you think just one big whale, then your wife is probably cheating on you with her boyfriend without you even knowing. Yes, I am better than you, so feel free to hate on me. But I also appreciate the support because I'm trying to help people. Hedge funds just don't get it. We're doing this for hombre. The Fed prints money, the Democrats' rhinos sign into law, then this money is sent to the government. But if you look into the bill, 25% of it goes towards quantitative easing. Literally 50% of the volume in the stock market across all the stocks is the Fed themselves. They short the stock when they want it lower, and they pump the stock when they perceive it to be beneficial to the economy. The entire concept of the stock market is dependent upon the collective confidence in the market, because when that is lost, you guessed it, market crash. It has been noted this week has been wild. I've never seen such volatility continually for weeks. The stock will fluctuate past vast amounts in the same day. In my life, I've observed the stock tape for a large portion of my life, which gave me more confidence in investing, because when I saw the similarities in the market as a whole, you couldn't quite believe it. It's clear that they printed more money to pump the stocks. However, it began to require more and more as the problem begins to compound. The signs of inflation are there between the increasing bond rates and the treasury yields, as well as Jerome Powell himself stating eventually we'll see extreme inflation for 12 months. Soon the truth of the matter will come to fruition, as there is only one certain extent to which the Reserve can hide the real truth about our current economic status. God bless us, keep us wealthy and powerful. However, this only happens if we help our neighbors, put our money where our mouth is, and make it happen. Think back to what I said before. Those who are not against us are in fact with us. So get people on board, invest the way that I'm investing, help me buy these stocks at the crazy prices that they got them at limit orders with. Micah Burry mentions the Feds in his tweet linked, and he tells us how Bitcoin can't last and that the NFTs are literally the hallmark signs of a bubble that is about to pop. He also posted a tweet with the data, which was very easily identifiable as options pricing. This led me to increase my 5K position to 10K, which then turned into a cool mill. If I'd had put the 75K in, I would have 10 million cash right now. Why didn't I trust Burry? Ugh! Burry's a very smart man and also honorable. Once I open my bank account or my bank and have a third of the population banking with me, I'll be able to not control the market so much as in build the markets and make sure that they can't be controlled by anyone. Alongside Burry, where we'll be able to have the markets that are genuine free markets open to all with no hidden agendas. If I haven't stated clearly enough, my 100K YOLO is an attempt to become the richest man on earth. Through options, I'll show you how I plan to match Cohen's 10 figures or DFV's 8 figures. If you want to aim low, when the rocket takes off, there will be those that cash out low amounts whilst we blast off in the solar system. Here's a graph of GME against the SPY. Noting anything interesting, you can see as GME rose, the SPY dipped accordingly. So they had to halt the trading to prevent the collapse. And so the SPY stabilized with the subsequent drop in GME. Then once GME revives, the market will begin to dip again. They are only delaying the inevitable. There is no stock in history that has been halted this much, or honestly, maybe ever. GME has had over 20 trading halts in the last 40 days alone. It is literally unprecedented and unheard of. On June 28th, GME was halted for the first time. Since then, both stocks have been almost identical, moving together. Except for a few days, the suits tried to convince the masses they weren't linked. They will go up together and they will go down together because that's what the market wants. That being said, tells you the longer you hold, the more you like. It's because we're all diamond holders. Diamond handers are real in AMC and GME. So Wanda, a Chinese-owned company, had a 30% stake in AMC in an agreement that their shares remain above 30%. They get threefold the amount of voting power, meaning they had 90% control in voting and effectively controlled AMC. However, during the annual earnings conference call, the AMC CEO stated the retail investor bought so many shares that Wanda's stake reduced to just 10%, meaning that they no longer had 90% of voting power and that they previously did. This shows that we bought 200% more shares than the shares existed, as they retained their same numbers of shares but were diluted by 2/3. The stock price news alone should send the stock rocketing to $50. American, 40 euro. That's why my biggest conviction in the June expiration $40 strike on AMC is the best bet in the entire market right now in terms of managing risk and reward. A word on Elon Musk. I have 5K stake in $23 strike Tesla puts, and since I believe he'll send the company to bankruptcy, the puts expiration is September. When GME first moon in January, Elon took credit before ghosting and leaving Twitter. During this time, his aides must have told him that the rise in GME would lead to a subsequent crash in Tesla due to the inverse moments GME was taking within the markets. And given Tesla now makes up 6% of the SPY upon his return, Elon could not stop talking about Doge and Bitcoin, anything that he could pump so that Tesla wouldn't be affected. Maybe he is worried Tesla's future, so rather than join us on a quest, he chooses to push crypto almost continually since that day. Some other notable mentions of the events be that Democrats passed a $1.9 trillion stimulus package, as well as stepping down Jeff Bezos on Amazon right after the January event happened. My belief is that the stimulus will be used for, so this 1.9 that passed recently, some of it will be used for QE, but after the January one, there was a $1 trillion stimulus passed that no one even knows about. Like, they didn't even talk about it. They just passed it the day that they needed it, and it was the day after AMC and GME happened to explode. Conan O'Brien is a celebrity that has become the voice of the people, and after seeing DFB's increasing of 50K to 100K shares, Conan then tweeted to share the news that he himself invested in GME. Any money that he has made and will make will be at least 7 figures because he is rich to begin with. His play money is much larger than ours. Dave Portnoy did disappoint me as he realized the manipulated loss, and if he had just held on for another couple weeks, he'd be filthy rich right now. I wonder how he feels about being paper-handed. He then reinvested a higher average, so let's hope he doesn't sell early, because he would be able to make literal millions. I've linked a Dropbox with screenshots of the celebrity tweets. Let's see if it's another scam call. Is this a scam?
Hello?
Hello, are you real?
Hey, it's Sean. I want to ask you something. Sorry, hang on a second.
It does not sound real.
I'm on the phone!
That's not real. You guys ain't going to get me with these fake phone calls. Like, if you don't come on to me and say, hey, Marcus, what's up? Like, first 3 words, I'm just going to start blocking people. They clearly don't like me getting the truth out. And so they keep the hedgies are sending the little robots to start calling me and disrupt my thing. Here's a paper-handed husband watching their wife's BF, who is a smooth-brained retard, make money on GME buying in at $200 a share. Now, let's dive into options. We'll keep it simple. Explaining what I bought and why I bought it. My live trades will be streamed live on YouTube daily, so make sure to join the God Pill. What I want you to come away with is the ability to understand options and how, if done correctly, can be the most lucrative investment in your life. The biggest message that I want you to take away from this is that the squeeze potential. If you exercise call options, you lose their extrinsic value, which is bad. You're giving hedgies free money. Exercising them only takes the intrinsic value away from the hedge funds, and we are here to take both, which is once my calls are in the money, I'll be selling the calls and taking the profits to buy stocks on the open market. This will help to initiate the trigger that we need and want. Extrinsic value is much more valuable than intrinsic value. I don't believe in carrying to expiration, and I also don't believe in exercising the calls unless the stock is to go up 100,000% in a day, at which point it wouldn't matter as the trigger has already occurred, and you could basically just exercise. Don't act like you're making $1 billion either way is the point. So this was a single option that I traded. I put in $3,000 on 120 contracts for the $100 strike when the price was at like $50 or something, or maybe $60. And that $3,000 grew to $540,000 because each contract only cost $26. And right now, that's exactly how AMC looks for the same situation. Here's my most lucrative call option to date. I turned 3K into 500K. Now, it's important to note that the options are all priced solely based on whether or not the call is in or out of the price. No, call options are not based whether they're in or out of the money. This is to say that if the current stock price is below the strike price, the call is out of the money. But if you bought something like 40% out of the money and now it's only 1% out of the money, you've made a lot of money already. Being in the money is when the call becomes the most profitable. That's true. My strategy with regards to trading options involves buying out of the money call options and then writing them into the money for the largest profit. Once you're in the money, then level off profit at that point begins to taper off, meaning that the increase in stock price above this point does not increase the profit in a linear fashion. It's important to understand that the options are priced based on their historical movements, but the GME AMC were halted. What this did was reset these option prices. The price of the AMC option does not currently incorporate a large 100% movement because this was a reset when the stock was crashed following January 28th. However, the GME, this was already been priced in and has, as we've already had large jumps in the price. And now that means GME options are no longer cheap unless you go quite far out of the money. The cheapest is $800 call for GME, as where it's $40 call for AMC. And the GME one, like I'm doing March 19 on both of them, but my GME long-term one is April 16th and my AMC is June 19th or something. So if AMC doubles to $26, then its ability to reach $40 becomes much more likely, turning that $5 call into a $10,000 contract. I'm personally still buying GME stocks and calls because I genuinely love the stock and it has my highest conviction. However, I believe the biggest money maker right now is held within the out of the money AMC calls. I'm doing this to become a financial giant, to prove that we are stronger together. And so if you like the stock, and then I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like the stock, if you like the stock, then I don't know what to tell you. I would have liked to help society and solve problems where possible. I would love to do that. Turning $5 into $10,000 would be a 200,000% gain, which is 2,000 fold on your money. It may take the stock price reaching $40 for this to occur. It may, at $26 contract, may be worth probably not 1,000 but 100,000. However, I have belief that, like, if it goes up 100% right now, my $40 contracts are going to be worth six figures for sure. First, they mocked you by calling you a bag holder. Then they tried to divert your attention with silver. After that, they tried to be defamatory towards you. And all of this occurs because you came to save the world. I want to reiterate how successful I've been within options trading market. I turned 3K into 500K, which is a 160-fold increase. This occurred within 4 trading hours of the stock price increasing by 120%. And what this means that if AMC is able to become in the money, then it will easily turn into 8 to 10 figures. My current options is 250 AMC calls, $20 strike, 200 AMC, $30 strike, 350 AMC, $40 strike, and all those expire on Friday. And then I got 250 AMC, $40 strikes for June. 17 calls expires this Friday, 16 that expire on, or 15 actually now, that expire on April expiration. I believe it's April 16th. See all my live streams. Like, I got plenty of proof to back those up now. Now, for those of you who are still here, then I'm going to finish with a little bit about my political and religious beliefs. Some of these things may sound preposterous to you, but they are my beliefs, and I shall continue to stick to that. Do I think that I'm the second coming of Christ that the Bible prophesied of? Yes. Does that mean I'm perfect in every aspect of my life? No. We made the image of Jesus seem so perfect that anything less than that would be considered subpar. Since I was a child, I was certain that Jesus wouldn't be a figure that descended from the sky. So when there is something that you want, I am a strong believer in making that happen for yourself. Jesus went through good and bad, but always managed to come out on top and overcoming in the light. I went through a period of struggle almost a decade. You say a decade ago, but it's really like the whole decade was just a bad decade. I mean, my last couple of years have been pretty great. But I was able to commit to do good things, be born again financially, ambitiously, as well as repented myself and served diligently by following the money mastering life insurance with long-term investing in options trading. Basically, like, I'm not looking for forgiveness from anyone. Like, if you don't like me, that's fine. But I was looking for redemption in myself. I think a lot of us are more worried about how we feel about ourselves than we are about how other people feel about us. And we just want to love ourselves. But, like, it's hard to do that unless we're really winning. And so I feel like if you follow me, like, we can teach you how to win. I'm not super smart. Like, I shouldn't say I'm not smart, but I'm not educated. I don't know. And, like, there's so many people educated that know so much more than I do. I don't know everything, but I'm so good at learning. I didn't go to college, and my ability to use computers or do math is very limited. My math is pretty strong, but, like, if I got to use a computer to do that type of math, then I can't do it, right? But the things that I excel at are things that matter the most and have proven to give me the ability to make money and provide the most value for the public. I want to make so much money that we can all become one, achieve unity, and become a defender of truth in this world. I will help to show that the 1% aren't as smart as many believe them to be. I want to spread the message for all so that anyone and everyone will become the best version of themselves that they can be. Let's forget about judging each other. Focus on the potential that you have in yourself, in your life, in life. If there are those that do not believe, then that is their own prerogative. America will become the country of the working man and the woman, and there shall be early retirement with well-paid jobs for all. Everyone deserves the necessities, and then we could even charge those higher prices for those with more extravagant lifestyles. Let me explain to you what is happening. This is the Great Reset. This is when all the money falls into the hands of many. We do have a need to save the world and introduce 1,000 years of peace. As we master the human potential and prepare for the final war with the establishment machine. I don't know how it ends, but I do know it ends in 4 years when Biden is to lose power, and I do know it's swift and our people will be safe. I really wish Trump and the QAnon movement would have been on board since January. They are always talking about how they love freedom and free markets. Maybe a few can find this message and get it in and push us over the edge. Remember, I have YOLO'd 100K in on March 15th, so don't think it's too late. I grew up in the huge Mormon athletic family where I was the worst at everything basically except math. I made it out of high school before cash chasing door-to-door sales and so that I could start my own business. A few years later, I managed to create a business in the roofing storm chasing industry, and in 4 years, we managed to turn a profit of over $500,000 between me and my brother, revenue of over $20 million, and in that 500,000 of it, I took to the stock market when I cashed out of the roofing company, and I lost it all in options over the last 2 years. This was my motivation: obsessively learn as much as I could regarding stocks, options, and politics. When it comes to race, I believe all living people of all races are totally equal, so we need to help those at the bottom first, not those in the 1% who already have everything they'd ever need. Regarding politics, I believe in free and caring market and near to no government. Religiously, I believe in donating to me, your neighbor, and your family is all that matters. Church does not matter, and you are not expected to become perfect. But if you see someone trying, you should help them believe in themselves that they can do anything they want, and make sure money is never the reason someone fails. So don't be a freaking hater if the person's actually trying to become a better person. Hate on the people that are hating. That's what I do. Because I like to hate, but not on the people that already hate themselves. All of these are my own views, but I genuinely believe in the future and the human race as one human race united. For those looking to get dirt on me, I'll just give it to you now. I've smoked meth, but I never let myself get stuck. I've had worse gambling addictions imaginable, losing over $1 million in the last decade of my own money and my family's money too, to pool and poker. I'm pretty good at gambling. I just always double up and go bigger tables and bet the house on 50-50 coin flip situations until I lose. Like top pair and nut flush draw on a flop and a top set with no straight or flush opportunity. I stole weapons, monies, cars, you name it. I was a rat. Now I smoke weed every day. I enjoy alcohol and wine. I don't go to church. And when I read the Bible, I see it as a message left for me as a savior in charge of controlling the chaos. I got nothing to hide, nothing to prove, and offering all my non-financial advice and investment decisions for free, I will realize my own prophecy. The second coming was real, just not how any of us thought it was going to be. Honestly, I thought I was going to have to finish my billion-dollar algorithm that sells SPY, SPX cross-margin credit spreads for guaranteed profits, and then bet big on the options, and then transfer all my winnings into one stock and try and profit more, kind of like this AMC GME thing. But then DFE and Guerrilla Army came through and gave me the obvious simple path to the inevitable rule. I love you people. We will save the world financially soon. I won't ever sell all the GME and AMC because they are the new currency, and I will always hold their value. After I give advice, I always end my sentence with, I don't know though, so you can never say I ruined your life. What is this, a short attack for ants? We had another ant short attack today. Can't believe they're still trying to push the stock down. We know stocks only go up. When I see GME only at 11% up today, it almost feels like it's going down, honestly. I need it at 40% up every single day for the next 12 days. I am going to get as many contracts that I can get my hands on, and I'm going to hold through the profits knowing inflation is inevitable and will rock this world. I bet my farm on it because I can afford to. You do what you want. Sure, and that also means if I go broke, I'm ready to go back to roofing. I could totally go back to roofing, make $200,000 a year by the time I start my own company. Maybe start at $100,000 a year, but then get to $200,000 a year and retire in 10 years. If everything just stayed the same and AMC and GME didn't work out, I got so many backup plans. I can make money. Money ain't nothing. Shorting the market is not guaranteed right that anyone can do. Places like Citadel, Melvin short every company on the market because 95% of the options expire worthless, and 5% that end up being in the money are the ones that make the billions every year. As a gambler, I aim to collect the profits from the 5%. I begin tired of the society and politics and the MSN lies and manipulation, and I am sick of the subversion upon America. Most of the DD is pretty spot on. I support everyone who has been calling days because, in all honesty, every day that the Fed has halted the trading day is a day that we won and had an infinity assumed stock price, and anyone discrediting that as proof for a victory is obviously a G-bear. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The Fed halting GME and AMC is a guarantee you need to know that they are both headed to the moon. Come join my live stream at YouTube, The God Pill. To conclude, I believe that when the Federal Reserve halted trading 30 times on GME and a couple on AMC, they created an enemy of the people, and people rallied. And it is the ultimate moment of humanity standing their ground for freedom. We will crash their market. We will profit unfathomably, and then we will fix this broken world. If you are asking me about an exit strategy, there is no exit strategy. I'm keeping half my money for spending in charity and for family and friends, and then put the other 50% of option profits have been invested in stocks. So let's see what happens if the stock reaches 9 to 10 figures within 5 minutes because of market orders. I truly believe Michael Burry and the fact that he was able to see the options glitch in real time 12 months before it hit. The market tells me he has the deepest understanding of market operations. Between his knowledge, my power, your people's support, we will create a non-profit bank that will be totally neutral in all trading activity. When I have 33% of the population banking with me, I will have the power to make all the people on the earth equals amongst the many. I am happy to do updates if needed, but I prefer not to. So if anyone sees any big issues, let me know. The squeeze will not simply rise and then fall instantly. It's a fake news. GameStop and AMC will be the new cash and the only thing that can weather inflation. I am clearly retarded space ape who is definitely not a financial advisor, but I made $1.2 million, so I thought I'd share with you how, as well as how I'm going to make more. Godspeed, my fellow apes. What do we think about it? Do we like it, people?